The Salesforce Platform Developer II certifications is one of the hardest credentials in the ecosystem. Most of the content about online is out of date, and most developers who attempt it are not prepared for what it actually demands. This video gives you the current honest picture for 2026, the prerequisite, what the exam test, why it is harder than people expect, and what passing it does for your career. Here is what we are going to cover in this video. What PD2 actually is and who it is designed for, the one formal prerequisite, what changed in October 2025 that most content online has not caught up to yet, what the exam test, and the salary case for going through all of it. I have trained over 200,000 Salesforce students across India, US, and beyond, and if you want more Salesforce career content, subscribe before we start. What PD2 is and who it is for. The Salesforce Certified Platform Developer II credential is the advanced developer certification. Platform Developer I test whether you can build on Salesforce. Platform Developer II test whether you can build well with the right patterns, the right performance approach, the right testing strategy, and the right architecture for complex problems. This is not a cert for developers who are 6 months in. Salesforce recommends candidates have 2 to 4 years of development experience, including at least 1 year of hands-on experience designing, implementing, and deploying solutions on the Salesforce platform. That recommendation is realistic. The exam will expose gaps that no amount of additional study time can fill. The one prerequisite, Platform Developer I, there is one formal prerequisite for PD2. You must hold the Salesforce Platform Developer I credential before you can sit for this exam. That is it. PD1 is the only certification-based requirement. If you do not have PD1 yet, that is your starting point. No shortcuts around it. Now, here is something important that most content online is still getting wrong. What changed in October of 2025? Until October of 2025, the PD2 credential also required 3 specific Trailhead super badges as mandatory prerequisite: the Apex Specialist, the Data Integration Specialist, and the Advanced Apex Specialist. From October 2025, Salesforce removed that requirement. Those super badges are no longer mandatory to register for or earn the PD2 credential. PD1 now is the only formal prerequisite. Does that mean you should skip the super badges entirely? No, and here is why. The super badges still exist as recommended preparation. They test real coding scenarios, complex Apex, integration patterns, asynchronous processing. These are exactly the areas the PD2 exam tests heavily. Salesforce recommends them as practice, even though they are no longer required. The requirement changed, the preparation value did not. What the exam tests: 5 topic areas. The PD2 exam has 60 questions. You have 120 minutes. That is longer than most Salesforce exams. Passing score is 70%. Cost is $200 with a $100 retake fee. Here are the 5 official topic areas and their weightings. Process automation, logic, and integration is 27%. This is the largest single area. It covers complex Apex patterns, asynchronous processing, and integration design. More than a quarter of the exam. User interface is 20%. Lightning, web components, Aura components, and front-end development patterns. Testing, debugging, and deployment is 20%. Unit test strategy, debugging tools, change sets, and deployment approaches. Performance is 18%. Governor limits, query optimization, bulk processing, and writing code that scales. Advanced developer fundamentals is 15%. Design patterns, security architecture, and data modeling for complex solutions. Process automation and integration careers carries the most weight, over a quarter of the exam. That is where to spend the majority of your study time. Why this exam is harder than it looks like. Here is what separates the candidates who pass the exam from those who do not pass the exam. Salesforce does not publish official pass rates for PD2, but the community is consistent on one thing. This exam punishes candidates who have studied but not built. The questions test scenarios, not definitions. You will not be asked what a bad job is. You will be asked which approach is correct for a specific performance problem and why another approach fails. That level of reasoning comes from real development experience. Candidates who attempt attempt PD2 after study time alone without shipping real Salesforce solutions find this exam very difficult. The super badges are no longer mandatory, but the experience they represent still is. If you are mapping out your Salesforce developer career with certifications to pursue in which order and how to build the right experience before attempting PD2, that is exactly the kind of plan I help people build in a one-on-one career consultation. The link is in the description. It has helped a lot of people figure out exactly what to do next. I publish new Salesforce videos every Wednesday and Friday. Hit subscribe right now if you do not want to miss the next video. What PD2 pays? The salary case. Let me give you the honest salary picture. The average salary for a general Salesforce developer in the US is around $130K per year. The average salary for a Salesforce Platform Developer, the role associated with the PD2 credential, is around $150K per year in the US. That is a gap of over $20,000 per year. The reason is straightforward. PD2 signals a level of technical depth that fewer developers have. When a company has a complex Salesforce problem, performance failures, integration issues, governor limit breaches, they need someone who has solved these problems before. The PD2 credential is evidence that you have solved these kind of problems before. The certification does not guarantee those numbers. Experience and the right employer both matter in this case, but it puts you in a smaller pool of candidates, and a smaller pool means better negotiating position. How to prepare for this certification? The right sequence. And here is the preparation sequence that makes sense for this particular certification. Step number 1 is pass your Platform Developer 1. That is the only formal prerequisite. Do not attempt PD2 without the PD1 certification. Step number 2 is build real experience. 2 years minimum of hands-on Salesforce developments, real projects, real constraints, real consequences. Step number 3 is work through the Trailhead super badges as practice. Apex Specialist, Data Integration Specialist, and Advanced Apex Specialist, they are no longer mandatory. They are still some of the best hands-on preparation for what the exam will test you on. Step number 4 is use the official Trailhead study path for PD2. Focus your heaviest study on process automation and integration, which is 27% of the exam, and testing and debugging, which is 20% of the exam. Step number 5 is practice under timed conditions. 60 questions in 120 minutes. The questions require careful reading. They are scenario-based, not definition-based. Let me pull all of this together. Platform Developer II is the advanced Salesforce developer certification designed for professionals with 2 to 4 years of hands-on development experience. One formal prerequisite for this is Platform Developer 1. That is it. As of October 2025, the 3 super badges prerequisites are no longer mandatory, but they remain valuable hands-on preparation for what the exam tests. The exam has 60 questions, 120 minutes, 70% to pass, $200 to sit, 5 topic areas, process automations and integration carries 27%, the largest single area. The exam tests scenarios and reasoning, not definitions. Real development experience is the preparation that matters most in this exam. Salary, platform developers in the US average about $150K, around $21,000 more than the general Salesforce developer average. The path is demanding for developers who want to be genuinely senior technically and commercially. This is the credential that signals it. Hit subscribe if this video gave you a clear picture of what PD2 actually requires. New Salesforce content every Wednesday and Friday. Drop a comment below. Are you currently working towards PD2, or is this the first time you have looked seriously at what it requires? I read every single comment, and thank you very much.